Bandeham Shri Guru Shiyata Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sakana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shivishakam Vitam Sya Om Jnana Timaranda Shagena Jana Shilakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gurva Bhistam Supurakam Guruganara Sesha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Vedanipanam Shri Rupa Patanugam Govinda Bidam Ujwalam Bharatanum Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Bande Vishwagurun Shah Divyat Bhagavad Premno Ibija Pranam Devam Divyatanam Suchanda Bharanam Balarka Shailanshitam Sandrananda Puram Sadeka Varanam Vairagya Vidyambudim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Baram Mandetam Shubharam Mareka Sharanam Nyashishvara Shridaram Manshikapatarubhyascha Kripasindubhyevacha Patitanam Pavenebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahamananyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gaurata Vishay Namah. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, and this is Madhya-lila, chapter 20. The Lord instructs Sri Sanatan Goswami, and this is text number 249. Avatara ishankeya harer sattva nider dvija yata vidasina kuya sarasa shu sahasrasha. O learned Brahmins, just as hundreds and thousands of small rivulets issue from great reservoirs of water, innumerable incarnations flow from Sri Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the reservoir of all power. Pratame Kore Krishna Purusha Avatar Satya Purusha Hoy Trivida Prakar. In the beginning, Krishna incarnates himself as the Purusha avatars or Vishnu incarnations. These are three types. Vishnos tu trini rupani purushakyani ato vidu ekam tu mahata shrastri dvitiyam tvanda samstitam tritiyam sarva bhutastam tani gyatva vimuchate. Vishnu has three forms called Purushas. The first, Mahavishnu, is the creator of the total material energy, Mahat. The second is Garbhodakshayi, who is situated within each universe. And the third is Shirodakshayi, who lives in the heart of every living being. He who knows these three becomes liberated from the clutches of Maya, or illusion. Ananta Shakti Madhya Krishna Ratina Shakti Pradhan Icha Shakti Jnana Shakti Kriya Shakti Nam. Krishna has unlimited potencies, of which three are chief: willpower, the power of knowledge, and the creative energy. Icha Shakti Pradhan Krishna Icha Sarvakarta Jnana Shakti Pradhan Vasudeva Adhishtata. The predominator of the willing energy is Lord Krishna, for by his supreme will, everything comes into existence. In willing, there's a need for knowledge, and that knowledge is expressed through Vasudeva, or an expansion of the Lord. So here is said, Lord Krishna, for by his supreme will, everything comes into existence. So just by thinking of something, it will be seen as reality. So Srila Sridhar Maharaj once referred to the Lord as a supreme hypnotist. Like there's a phrase, I guess in the Bible, where it says, "Let there be light," and there was light. So it's said he's on the plane of what's called supersubjective plane. His thinking becomes concrete reality. And he suggests what he suggests will be, what he thinks of will be. So the living entities, they're on the level of most people will try to analyze the existence of God as something that's within their mental power. But it's the reverse situation. They're being used as, you can say, they're not in the position where they can observe the Lord as an object. Rather, they're to be seen and used by the Lord. So, anyway, that is Krishna's will. By Krishna's willpower, everything exists. It doesn't have to involve the idea of a physical creator. The predominator of the willing potency is Lord Krishna, for by his supreme will everything comes into existence. In willing, there is a need for knowledge, and that knowledge is expressed through Vasudeva. Icha jnana kriya vina na hoy srijan, tina ratin shakti mili, prapancha rachan. There is no possibility of creation without thinking, feeling, willing, knowledge, and activity. The combination of the supreme will, knowledge, and action brings about the cosmic manifestation. Kriya Shakti Pradhan Sanskarshana Balaram Prakrita Shrishti Koranan Nirman. Lord Shankarshan is Lord Balaram. Being the predominator of the creative energy, he creates both the material and the spiritual worlds. So, Shankarshan, first comes Krishna, then his expansion is Balaram, who's non-different from Shankarshan, Mahashankarshan. Then you have expansions of other incarnations or expansions of the Lord. Ahankarer adishtata krishnarichai goloka vaikunta shriji chid shakti dwarai. The original Shankarshan, Lord Balaram, is the cause of both the material and the spiritual creation. He is the predominating deity of egotism, and by the will of Krishna and the power of the spiritual energy, he creates the spiritual world, which consists of the planet Goloka Vrindavan and the Vaikuntha planets. So here it mentions ego. Now, we define there's a difference between what we call false ego and actual. False ego and actual ego. False ego is the identification with something that is not. Like there are some persons that'll say that, or some philosophers will say this whole world is illusion. But that is not our conclusion. For instance, I'm not saying that this table, this chair, everything in this room, or the persons in this room, especially, I'm not saying that they don't exist. Everyone is existing. But, so it's incorrect to say that this world is illusory, that it has no real existence. They'll say, Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya, that Brahma or spirit is real, and that this world is false. Never heard the explanation. That's like saying that the apple tree is real, but the apples are false. The apples are coming from the tree, and everything is energy, whether it's the spiritual energy, material energy, or what we call marginal energy. The living entities can identify with spirit or matter. But the identification of oneself with his body, which is temporary, that's your identity. That is what is the illusion. Not that the world doesn't exist, but it's illusion when you identify yourself with something that you're not. So most people, if you ask them their identity, they'll tell you according to their knowledge of this world, and they'll say that they're an American or a Venezuelan or a Russian or whatever. But first of all, those aren't eternal identities. They can all change. Then they may identify themselves with an economic class or a political group, or all these things are called upadhis. They're called false identifications. They don't really have anything to do with your real existence. But for convenience in this world, they're utilized. So we would say That's related to false ego, identifying yourself with something that's not your true existence. And real ego is the identification of yourself with actual spirit, that you're understanding that you're a spirit soul. So in the Bhagavad Gita it mentions, it says, Mamai Vamso Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana Manashastani Indriyani Prakriti-stani Karshati. Krishna says, everyone, Mamai Vamso, all living entities are part and parcel of me. Mamai Vamso Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. And that's their eternal identity. And he says, but right now, Manashastani Indriyani Prakriti-stani Karshati. Right now they are all struggling with their mind and senses. Manashastani Indriyani Prakriti-stani Karshati. And that actually produces a hard struggle for existence due to internal, you can say, struggling with your own mind and senses. That's what creates problems of material existence. Anyway, here it's describing that how Balaram, the first expansion of the Lord, is related with ego. Jajapi, an ego we can say is your identification of individuality. Yadyapi asrija nitya chid shakti vilas tatapi sankarshani chai tahara prakash. Although there is no question of creation as far as the spiritual world is concerned, the spiritual world is nonetheless manifested by the supreme will of Shankarshan. The spiritual world is the abode of the pastimes of the eternal spiritual energy. Sahasrapatram kamalam gokulakyam mahatpadam tatkarnikaram taddama tadanantam shasambhavam. Gokula, the supreme abode and planet, appears like a lotus flower that has 1,000 petals. The world of this lotus, the world of that lotus, is the abode of the Supreme Lord Krishna. This lotus-shaped supreme abode is created by the will of Lord Ananta. Mayadvari srijiteho brahmandaragan jadarupa prakrite nahi brahmandakaran. By the agency of the material energy, this same Lord Shankarshan creates all the universes. The dull material energy known in modern language as nature is not the cause of the material universe. So I remember when last month when Srila Prabhupada was present, he was at a program, and I've mentioned this before, but they were towards the end of the program, people were asking questions. So one student, a college student, came up and he told us, asked Srila Prabhupada, he said, you cannot logically prove that God exists. And Srila Prabhupada said, but if you don't know logic, how will I prove it to you? So then the student, that person thought, oh, so you're saying you can't prove that God exists? Because Prabhupada said, if you don't know logic, how can I logically prove to you that God exists? So then when the student said, oh, then you can't prove it, then Srila Prabhupada said, nature is there, and you refer to nature as Mother Nature. He said, so the mother is there, the living entity is coming out of the womb of the material nature. The living entity is showing himself, coming out of the womb of the material nature. So Srila Prabhupada just said, so the mother is there, the son is there, but you tell me there's no father, so where's your logic? That was this. He just very briefly answered him. So, by the agency of the material energy, the same Lord Shankarshan creates all the universes. The dull material energy, known in modern language as nature, is not the cause of the material universe. So what is the cause of it? First of all, everything is the energy of the Lord. And just like an electrician, he can utilize electricity to create heating, like a heater or an instrument, use can be made for cooling, like air conditioning, using the same energy. So the Lord can utilize his energies in different ways as he likes. So we're saying the cause of existence is not the material nature, is not the material energy is not the cause of the material universe. So what is the cause of the material universe? We can say that everything that's occurring within the universe, all movement and everything, is actually existing or caused by the presence of life. And you may say that there is certain principles for the creation of material energy that the Lord does through different agencies, like you can say Lord Brahma is sometimes said to be the creator. But he's more like an engineer, only is involved with the creation of material forms. But the population or the enlivenment of any kind of material form depends on the presence of spirit. So how do we know spirit is present? By the presence of consciousness. So everything really actually depends on consciousness. Jada hoite shrishti nahi ishvara shakti bine tahate shankarshana kore shaktira adane. Without the Supreme Personality of God as energy, dull matter cannot create the cosmic manifestation. Its power does not arise from the material energy itself, but is endowed by Shankarshan, which was expansion of Lord Krishna. The Lord can expand himself innumerably as what we call Svamsa and Vibhinamsha. Svamsa is expansions of the Lord who have the power of the Lord, and Vibhinamsha is the presence of the living entities, the jivas. And Prabhupada used to use the term part and parcel of the Lord, referring to the living entities, having the qualities in terms of the qualities of the Lord, eternity, knowledge, or eternity, consciousness, and happiness, but to a minute degree, whereas the Lord has them to unlimited degrees. So there's that difference. Oh, thank you. Ishwarya Shakti Shrishti Koraye Prakriti Lohajena Agni Shakti Paya Daha Shakti. Dull matter alone cannot create anything. The material energy produces the creation by the power of the Supreme Lord. Iron itself has no power to burn, but when iron is placed in fire, it is empowered to burn. So something in contact with the Lord's energy becomes empowered. Now it says, iron itself has no power to burn, but when iron is placed in fire, it is empowered to burn. So when the iron is placed in contact with fire, then it'll glow red hot. And that red hot, then it has the power to burn. I remember when I was in high school, I was taking metal class. And we'd put wrought iron or something like that into the furnace and heat it hot, and then we'd be able to bend it and shape it like they do on wrought iron gates and stuff like that. But when it's in the fire, then it becomes red hot, and then you can bend it easily and things like that. But then it would change from red hot back to color black. But if you're not really careful, you can touch that iron, and of course you'll get burnt. You can't always see what part is hot just by the color. When it's red hot, then you can work it. But afterwards, it will stop glowing, but it's still tremendously hot. Anyway, iron has no power to burn, but when iron is placed in fire, it is empowered to burn. Ito iv vishvasya cha bijayoni ramu mukunda purusha pradhanam anviya bhuteshu vilakshanasya janasya cheshata imo purano. Balaram and Krishna are the original efficient and material causes of the material world. As Mahavishnu and the material energy, they enter into the material elements and create the diversities by multi-energies. Thus they are the cause of all causes. And that's the beginning of Brahma Samhita. It says, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadi Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Then it says that Krishna is both the cause and the effect, you could say. So there is no, Krishna is the original cause of all subsequent causes. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he used to use the terminology, he says reality is for itself and by itself. That was his phrase. So reality is for itself. You can say in Krishna is the center and ultimately all waves are flowing towards the center. So reality is for itself and by itself in the sense that everything is ultimately meant flowing towards the Lord. Everything is meant to be utilized in His service. Everything is ultimately for His satisfaction. That is the nature of the between the Lord and the energy, His energies. Everything is flowing towards the center. And so reality is for itself. And at the same time, reality is by itself and for itself. So also Krishna is, He's the cause of all causes. So that means He's the original cause. We see within this world of karma, there are so many actions and reactions. Just like if you talk about Newtonian physics, they'll say for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. Now you can see that happening in terms of one object hits another object. Then there's transference of energy. So we can see in this world that some actions that we'll do, they'll create so many other actions, reactions. We'll call that karma. But actually the original cause of everything goes back to the original energy, which is the Lord Himself. So reality is by itself and for itself. Everything is flowing towards the center, towards Krishna. Ultimately everything is utilized by Him and also by itself in the sense that He's the original cause. Shishti hetu jay murti prapanche avatare se Ishwara murti avatara namadware. The form of the Lord that descends into the material world to create is called an avatar or incarnation. So the word that will be used here is avatar. Now we also can use, for the sake of language, incarnation. But actually incarnation, if you know Latin or any of those languages associated with Latin, incarnation, carne means meat or flesh. So incarnation literally would mean in the flesh, incarnation. But the Lord is not when He descends as an avatar, His body is not made of flesh and bone. So we'll use the word incarnation, but actually the intrinsic meaning of that word, incarnation, is not correct. Krishna's existence, whatever form he takes as an avatar, is always, his form is eternal, full of knowledge and happiness. It's not made of material elements. Mayatita parabhyomi sabara avastan Vishve avatare dhari avataranam. All the expansions of Lord Krishna are actually resonance of the spiritual world. But when they descend into the material world, they are called avatars or incarnations. Say Maya avalokite Sri Shankarshan Purusha Rupe avatirna hoila pratan. Say Maya avalokite Sri Shankarshan Purusha Rupe Avatirna Hoila Pratam, to glance over that material energy and empower her. Lord Shankarshan first incarnates as Lord Vishnu. So the material energy doesn't have actually any, the material energy is created, but it's the living entities are injected into that material energy by the glance of the Lord. To glance over that material energy and empower her, Lord Shankarshan first incarnates as Lord Mahavishnu. Jagrihe Purusham Rupam Bhagavan Mahad Adibi Sambhutam Shodashakalam Adoloka Sisrikshaya. In the beginning of the creation, the Lord expanded himself in the form of the Purusha incarnation, accompanied by all the ingredients of material creation. First, he created the 16 principal energies suitable for creation. This was for the purpose of manifesting the material universe. Adyovatara Purusha Parasya Kala Svabhava Sarasanmanascha Dravyam Vikaro Guna Indriyani Virat Swarat Stasnu Charishnu Bhumna Karanabdi Shai Vishnu, Mahavishnu. This is the first incarnation of the Supreme Lord. And he is the master of eternal time, space, cause and effect, the mind, the elements, the material ego, the modes of nature, the senses, the universal form of the Lord, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and the sum total of all living beings, both moving and non-moving. So that's Mahavishnu. From him, the universes are expanding out from his breathing. Se Purusha Virajate Korana Shayan Karanabdi Shayi Nama Jagat Karan. That original personality of God named Shankarshan first lies down in the river Viraja, which serves as a border between the material and the spiritual world. As Karana Abdi Shayi Vishnu, he is the original cause of the material creation. So Maharaj, you can also interject anytime you want if you want to say.
This is giving us the science of creation.
Karanabdi Pare Mayara Nitya Avastiti Viranjara Pare Paravyome Nahigati. The Viraja, or causal ocean, is the border between the spiritual and the material world. The material energy is situated on one side of that ocean, and it cannot enter into the other shore, which is the spiritual sky. So that Viraja is like the demarcation between the spiritual and material energy. Pravardate yatra rajastamastayo satvam chamishram nacha kala vikrama nayatra maya kim utapare harer anuvrata yatra surasararchita. In the spiritual world, there is neither the mode of passion, the mode of ignorance, nor a mixture of both, nor is there adulterated goodness, the influence of time or Maya herself. Only the pure devotees of the Lord, who are worshipped both by demigods and by demons, reside in the spiritual world as the Lord's associates. This verse from Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken by Srila Sukadeva Goswami. He was answering the questions of Parikshit Maharaj, who asked how the living entity falls down into the material world. Sukadeva Goswami explained the cream of Srimad Bhagavatam in 4 verses, which have been explained to Lord Brahma at the end of the severe austerities he performed for 1,000 celestial years. At that time, Brahma was shown the spiritual world and its transcendental nature. So, in the spiritual world, there is neither the mode of passion, the mode of ignorance, nor a mixture of both, nor is there adulterated goodness. So then we say the material qualities are goodness, passion, and ignorance. But there is no presence of these material elements in the spiritual world. So it's here mentioned, nor is there adulterated goodness. So what is existing there is called Vishuddha Sattva. Vishuddha Sattva means that ultimately, you could say unadulterated goodness, but or another way of describing that would be full illumination or realization. Vishuddha Sattva. Mayara ye dui britti maya ara pradhan, maya nimitta hetu, vishvara upadana pradhan. Maya has two functions. One is called Maya and the other is called Pradhan. Maya refers to the efficient cause and Pradhan refers to the ingredients that create the cosmic manifestation. So both elements have to be there. There have to be the elements and then there also has to be the cause or the energy to create cause. So those both elements will be there. The ingredients of material creation and also the causal element. Se parusha mayapane kore abadan prakriti kobita kore viryera adan. When the Supreme Personality of God glances over the material energy, she becomes agitated. And at that time, the Lord injects the original semen in the living entities. So that what means by his glance, he impregnates the material energy. And what is that impregnated with? With the living entities. They're what actually gives substance to the whole material creation. By the presence of that energy, everything begins moving and taking effect. So I'll read the purport here. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Bijam mam sarvabhutanam. I am the original seed of all existences. This is also confirmed in another verse of the Bhagavad Gita. Sarva yonishu konteya murtaya sambhavantiya tasam brahma mahadyonir aham bija pradapita. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving Father. For a further explanation, one may refer to the Brahma Samhita. The Brahma Samhita also states, Agnir Mahi Gaganam Ambum Maru Dishascha Kalastatatma Manasiti Jagat Trayani Yasmad Bhavanti Vibhavanti Vishandiyam Cha Govindamari Parusham Tamaham Bhajami. All material elements as well as the spiritual sparks, individual souls, are emanating from the Supreme Lord. This is confirmed by the Vedanta Sutra, Janmadya Shayata. The absolute truth is He from whom everything emanates. He is the supreme truth, Satyam Param Dhimani. The absolute ultimate truth is Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Janmadya Shayatonmaya Iteratas Chartish Vabhigyasvarat. The absolute truth is a person who is directly and indirectly cognizant of the entire manifestation. So when it's here we refer to He, the Lord, but actually there's two elements, both male and female, just as there's what we call Purusha and Prakriti. So the Lord is existing, but He's not existing alone. He's existing with His energy. We always see that when we talk about the presence of the Lord, we'll refer to Radha Krishna, we'll refer to Lakshmi Narayan, we'll refer to Sita Ram. Then we also, on any level, we'll refer to refer to Parvati and Lord Shiva. There's always the existence of male and female. So Srila Govinda Maharaj, he gave the example of the light bulb. By the way, you can turn that switch there. Yeah, so when the light bulb, in order for the illumination to occur, the electricity or the power has to be flowing through there. So Krishna is the powerful, but there's no meaning to the word powerful or predominator without the energy. So that energy is considered feminine. So it's referred to as, like Radha Krishna will say that we refer to Shakti and Shaktiman. The energy is Shakti, it's feminine. And Shaktiman is the utilizer, the possessor, or however you want to say it, of that energy. So without the energy, then there's not any illumination. So when we speak of the powerful, for the meaning of powerful to exist, we have to be able to have the power also. So that power is Shakti. The absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, educated Lord Brahma from the heart. Tane Brahma Hridaya Adhikavaye. Therefore, the absolute truth cannot be dull matter. The absolute truth must be the Supreme Person himself. Se Purusha Maya Pane Kore Avadan. Simply by the glance, simply by his glance, material nature is impregnated with all living entities. According to their karma and fruit of activity, they emerge in different bodies. That is the explanation given by the Bhagavad Gita. Dehinosmin yata dehe komaram yovanam jara tata dehantara praptir dirus tatra namuyati. As the embodied soul continually passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. Svanga Vishi. Now, things are being summarized here, and we're going somewhat quickly through different conceptions. And this is being presented to Sanatan Goswami, and then Mahaprabhu tells Sanatan Goswami, okay, here's a resume form. Now you expand this in the form of scriptures or literature, of the literatures composed by Sanatan Goswami based on these indications of the Lord. You expand it and you substantiate it in references to the Shastras, to the scriptures. So actually, just like we can see, Krishna speaks to Arjuna prior to the battle of Kurukshetra. Now obviously he's not giving a philosophy class. He's explaining everything briefly to Arjuna, and then who is listening in, we can say from a distance on the conversation, that Krishna is speaking to Arjuna, and then who is Dhritarashtra is asking Sanjaya. And Sanjaya has the power to be able to conceptualize or see what's going on, what's being spoken by the Lord. And he says that out loud to Dhritarashtra. Now Dhritarashtra has this situation where he is materially and he's spiritually blind. So he's materially blind, he can't see, and he can't understand things either. We could say that, right? But Sanjaya, he is able to present what's being spoken of between Krishna and Arjuna. So we've often heard the example of what's being said, just like we see you see, like in India, the culture is very much different than America. Now, if the son becomes married, they'll usually the son will take his wife and they'll live in the house of his family. So in that house, there'll be, the new wife comes in there and she may not know how things go on in the family, how they do things. And the mother of the son who's gotten married, she's hesitant to instruct her daughter-in-law, because they don't have that relationship yet. It's not formed. But there's certain things that she wants to communicate. So it is said that how she does that is that in the presence of her daughter-in-law, she'll instruct her own daughter. Well, you know you're supposed to do this. So that in that way, the daughter-in-law gets some indication. Now, Arjuna, who's being instructed by Krishna, he's already an associate of the Lord. He's internally in knowledge. Just like when Sanatan Goswami says, who am I? Why am I always suffering by the three modes of material nature, or the three qualities of material nature, or kleshas? Then Krishna says to him, you already know these answers, but for the benefit of everyone else, you're just asking these questions so that they can be answered, so that other people can gather that knowledge. So we could say a similar situation is occurring between Krishna and Arjuna. And Sanjaya is transmitting that information. And we're reading that in the form of Bhagavad Gita. So Arjuna, we can say, he's temporarily placed into illusion by Krishna so that we can benefit from their conversation. It's very, it's a very, very interesting the way that communication happens with us. So, all right. Everything's being briefly presented to Sanatan Goswami, and he will expand it. Anyway, I am not... Do you think it's okay? We'll stop here at this time?
I think so.
Okay. So then tomorrow we'll continue. This chapter is very substantial, and, there's actually a lot to consider presented in this chapter. And one should try to extract the essence out of that. Like yesterday, Maharaj was saying that some test will be given about the different names of the Lord according to the placements of the different objects in their hands. So, obviously that will be most people's approach to knowledge. He's making some satire of what is the normal consideration of acquiring knowledge, of to be able to memorize some facts. But that is really not what's being communicated here, especially to Sanatan Goswami. He's been given facts, but he's been given more than that. He's been given philosophy and understanding, and he's to take that and expand it into knowledge that can be communicated and understood by others. So that's really what this is all about. It's what the Bhagavad Gita is about. It's about what the Srimad Bhagavatam is about, So I'll stop here. We'll sing Hari Haraya. Anyone have a comment?
It's amazing. All is amazing.
That every time I read Chaitanya Charitamrita, I may get different understandings, or some point will be new to me. Although I've read it before, something is communicated to me. I mean, there's always something coming from it that is fresh. You can say, oh, how can you keep reading the same old book? Well, first of all, it's not an old book, it's living. But besides that, there's always something coming from these conversations, what's being presented. It's illumination that's actually coming. I think the approach to knowledge, especially in the West, is a little bit different. The approach to knowledge in the West is that it's the idea of memorization, or the idea of this fact or that fact. Well, we're not dealing with that kind of communication. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama Janavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namah Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinatha Vanana Mohan Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Gananara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhakta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath Echai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan Jao Ente Vignana Shavishta Puran Echai Gosai Charmui Taradas Kasamar Padarenu Mora Panchagras Pader Karana Sevi Bhakta Sanibas Janame Janame More Abhilash Echai Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Manjai Aman Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyash Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Narodamodan Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Haribo Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Haribo Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Gunanga Gandharvika Giridhari Ju Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramansa Paravajaka Charyashta Tara Sadashi Shimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramansa ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudaman Maharaj ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Madhacharya Brinda ki jai. Sri Navadip Dham ki jai. Sri Mayapur ki jai. Saparshada Sri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. Saparshada Sri Mahaprabhu ki jai. Sri Koladvip ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat ki jai. Soquel Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Sevashram ki jai. Ganga Devi ki jai. Tulasi Maharani ki jai. Bhakti Devi ki jai. Sri Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopi Govardhan Sham Kuna Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Ju ki jai. Samaveda Bhakta Brinda ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. All the assembled devotees ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo.
Pavan Janardan Maharaj ki